Welcome back to another epidose of these crazy people that just eat meat and can't stop talking about it. I'm Tom, and this is Justin. You might be familiar with
Hello.
us. We are two of the many folk that wander through the meat mosaic videos. Well, I'm usually here, but I have a few transient associates that come and go. So Justin being the primary one, and I have a video that's not hasn't actually been released yet that we recorded that's up. So it's back from our long, long vacation of like a year not making videos. So you hopefully if you haven't seen that one, by the time you watch this one, you can look for that one. I think it's called Back from a Long Vacation. That's what I called it. So but today, what are we talking about, Justin?
Yeah, today we're talking about liking and subscribing our videos. See what I did there? There you go. Like, subscribe, and share. That's what we're talking about. Our videos. We're back. Hopefully coming back with weekly content. But yeah, great anyone that views this. For real, what we're talking about is probably a carnivore slash keto slash paleo slash generally healthy unless you're vegan. Um, staple, and that's eggs. Grade
Eggs.
A, large American egg.
Pasture raised, of course.
Pasture raised, not always.
Not always.
So
Preferably, but not always.
eggs, I'm actually kind of hot and cold on. I like eggs. Um, I've just been back and forth on whether or not like they cause me some discomfort or not.
Mm,
Yeah, that's I've kind of had this struggle. I think eventually I landed on they don't cause me struggle because I see it some of the other stuff that I eat and I'm like and you're thinking about cutting eggs but you're eating this kind of thing like oh that those keto bars from San Francisco from Sam's Club is completely fine but you think eggs are giving you an issue.
mm.
Just kind of silly.
Yeah, those
Some
keto
people,
ice cream bar things.
yeah, it's
Hmm.
really good.
Hmm.
um but I like eggs. Eggs are great. My favorite way to have eggs is scrambled.
Hmm.
Scrambled with cheese to me is just the bomb. Like I'm pretty happy. I mean, you could that's like a baseline, and you can like take it up a myriad of different directions after that, right? You could throw salt and pepper. You could get some was it Paleo Kitchen ketchup? Throw that on there. You could do like guacamole, salsa on them, you
Right,
know?
right.
And all would be kind of more or less in fair pay. It's like a meat-based, compared to French toast or pancakes and eggs, you know. But that's how I like my eggs. And I used to have this weird thing about eggs is that I only like to eat them hot. Like I felt like when eggs got cold, they lost like all flavor. The
Hmm.
texture gets kind of rubbery and just
Hmm.
kind of unenjoyable. But today, like I've spoken about before, I work at a nonprofit currently where we help the homeless and we have a kitchen. So I went up there and I asked for a double helping of eggs, some sausage, and some turkey because that's what they had on order today. And the person serving, I gave them a little bit of a carnivore spiel, which I can do at a later time.
Hmm.
Much of the content that we put out. And I went downstairs, was about to eat my breakfast, and then a client showed up and needed my attention. And then
Hmm.
like another client showed up, and then like another client showed up. So I didn't get to eat until like 2 or 3 hours after getting the food. And like
Hmm.
at first I was pretty like upset, like, oh man, cold eggs. But they were fine. Like it was totally not an issue with the
Hmm.
cold eggs. So cold, they were scrambled. They always make the egg scrambled. I wish there was some cheese, but it was just plain eggs that were cold and
Hmm.
they were delicious. Now, by this point, I was pretty hungry. So I think it was part of the psychological and physiological effects of having food in front of you and then becoming busy. So
Hmm.
like your body's like Hey, we were
Damn.
supposed to eat that. Damn it, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but they were great. Yeah, they were still good. Other than that, I like eggs medium, like over medium would be like my second favorite way to have them would be over medium.
For our
Uh,
friends overseas, you want to kind of explain what that is because they might have a different terminology.
so over medium means that the yolk is not hard and it's not runny. It's in between. So it's to me it's the perfect texture. It's I don't like runny eggs because it's really messy, you know? That's kind of why I don't like runny eggs. The flavor's fine, but just more messy. I feel like I'm losing out on some of the egg.
Mm.
Um, Over hard, I feel like you've just ruined it with the texture. It's kind of like a well done steak. An over hard egg, just not appealing.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, this and then with cheese, eggs are always better with cheese. It's a little bit of salt and pepper if you can stand it. Now, a controversial thought or with me is I don't like hard-boiled eggs. They've never appealed to me. I feel like they're pretty flavorless. Um, yeah, I get the convenience, and I've done it, and they're great in a pinch. You could take them basically anywhere. I just don't prefer hard-boiled eggs. Kind of never have. I feel like it makes the white taste weird, like the white part of it.
They can seem a little dry if you're just eating a hard-boiled egg by itself.
Yeah, yeah. I just can't scrump those down too well. Poached egg is okay. Depends on who makes it, depends on the vinegar. Got to kind of be in the mood for a poached egg. Um, Not really one to be like, oh yeah, poached egg. It just doesn't really appeal. I'm just pretty simple with my scrambled eggs. That's again, just kind of keep coming back to that, and that makes me pretty happy.
Mm.
I'm trying to think of other ways to have eggs. Deviled eggs are delicious, of course, but that's carnivore adjacent, still meat based, depending on what you put in them. But they typically have like a little bit of mustard, some dill, some salt, some pepper. Some people throw in some like Tabasco sauce or something to make it a little more spicy. But a good deviled egg is fantastic, though. I will say that.
Hmm. You don't necessarily have to make it non-carnivore because you could just take the yolk out and whip it with a little bit of sour cream or something, maybe a shot of
Mm.
hot sauce. So, so yeah, the thing I've been eating, and I'm gonna try sharing some pictures that I took. They're not even done uploading, so I haven't had a chance to sit there and boil it down to just the egg pictures. So there's going to be a few other in here that are just steak or whatever, but let me try and share
Well, as long as you don't have a picture of a kale, I think we'll be okay.
a kale,
Yes, an entire kale bushel.
an entire kale.
Yeah.
Come on, share one.
And no, I'm not worried about the cholesterol in eggs.
Yeah,
Um,
sorry,
I'm not.
my my sharing screen's taking forever to open and it's driving me a little crazy. Can you see it?
I can see it.
You can't?
I can. I can
Oh,
see it.
okay. So, anyways, this is something I make a lot of the time. This is a steak and eggs, and it's basically just scrambled eggs with sliced steak in it. So, and I do a lot of cooking in just a cast iron pan. Vast majority of my cooking is just in cast iron, just easy. So that's I do, and I've got an insane amount of cookware, and somehow I just settled on this. I've got two gas grills and two smokers. And because I'm mostly just cooking for myself, I don't really bother. Just cook on the stove because it's fast and easy. So, anyways, you remember the egg experiment?
Yeah, the
So
egg
I was going to try
experiment.
and eat all those eggs, and then eggs were in short supply. So this was that giant box I had in my fridge that took up like a quarter of the fridge just for eggs. So that was kind of I think if I'm going to repeat that experiment, I'm going to get a mini fridge just for eggs. It's the only way to do it.
How many eggs are in that box?
That box was
Or like when it's full,
I
I
think it
guess.
was 6 dozen or something. Yeah, I forget exactly, but it's like you can buy them that way in bulk. 6 dozen or some 10 dozen. I don't know, 5 dozen. It had to be like 6 dozen, maybe because it's 10. It couldn't have been 10, could it? Maybe it was 10 dozen, 120 eggs or something. It was just a lot.
And
So
was it like 10 cents an egg?
yeah. Fortunately, there's an egg farm not too far from where I live that I could pick them up. So, and this is, just mixing some eggs up from back then. That's them all just blended together. So, and this is just that egg poured into a waffle iron.
Hmm.
So I just put butter on the waffle iron, poured the egg in, and it came out. It was pretty good, it was convenient. And a lot of it for me is trying to make food and have it be portable and easy to eat on the go. So, I talk a lot about meal prepping on the weekends. So this had some potential. The waffle iron that was laying around was, as you can see, wasn't very big.
Hmm.
So, um, and this was okay, but I never fully embraced it. You know, it's not a bad way to go, but it's not that fast because it only makes, I think it makes two of these at a time.
Two of those little.
Yeah, two little round, like 3 inches or 4 inches
Oh,
maybe, and kind of messy. A lot of cleanup.
right.
So. This is just kind of what you were describing. It's basically scrambled eggs with meat in it. A lot of times I just chop up the whatever meat I have on hand, leftover meat or whatever, and put it in scrambled eggs. And of course, I put some cheddar cheese or something on top of this one. So, and here
And
I was
what's
getting
the
to,
so what's the LA scrambled egg special?
well, that's scrambled eggs with chorizo, of course.
Yeah, or the white version, scrambled eggs and hot dog.
Scrambled eggs and hot dog. So I had some hot dogs and I was like, I wonder what happens if you cook an egg inside of a hot dog. And it's pretty good. So you can always do that.
That's kind of a well, A, that picture is very graphic. That past one. But B, it's kind of a carnivore toad in a hole. You know what a toad in a hole
Yeah,
is?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a Yorkshire pudding with a sausage in it or whatever. Is that what you're talking about, toad in the hole?
So toad in a hole is when you there's also another word for it, but I forgot it, but it's where you have bread and then you cut a hole in the middle, you throw butter on the bread and you throw the bread in the pan, then you throw an egg in the middle. So you fry an egg inside like a slice of bread.
Ah, because I've had
Toad in
toad
a
in the
hole.
hole in a restaurant and it was Yorkshire pudding, which is it's almost like a puff pastry, but it's made from the drippings of prime rib
Right.
and it blows up and they have a sausage in the middle. So I guess there's more than one kind of
I guess toad in a hole.
toad in the hole. Yeah. So, anyways, this I went out to eat and I ordered that is um a burger. God, I wish I could remember the name of it, but it has bacon, fried egg, hot dog, and like two patties with cheese and stuff. So, anyways,
Where
I
did you
just
go? What restaurant was this?
I believe this was the Derby Room,
Oh, okay. That makes
which is
sense.
in Norco near where I live.
Right.
There's I'm sure there's more than one Derby Room, but that's the one I go to. So they have good burgers there, and so I got it with cottage cheese, and just typically I just eat it open face and just throw away the bun. So fun stuff. So this is the other way I eat eggs sometimes when I want to make a lot of them. I basically they're egg bites. So I take what do you call it? Muffins,
Muffin tin, yes.
muffin tin, cupcake paper tins or whatever, and then I put a little cheese in there, and then start putting meat. This I think that's ground bacon, and then
Nice.
there's some sausage, and then some egg. Right? Is you seeing this? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Is
Let's
that
make it.
an egg per
You
cup?
know, I just beat the eggs,
Okay.
and then pour it in, so it fills the cup up basically, and then I throw them in. This is in a little mini oven, and they come out like this.
Oh wow.
So, anyways, that's another way to eat eggs. You can see there they generally peel pretty good. Oh, there's some butter in there, so I melt some butter and whip it into the egg so that they come off the paper nicely.
Ah,
So. So, anyways, and this is just a picture of the eggs. They're typically together steak, or
very
hamburger,
good.
hamburger, steak. And then here, steak and eggs. I can't remember what
Ah.
restaurant this was. But again, I found a restaurant where I got steak and eggs with cottage cheese. Pretty
Hmm.
carnivore. Here's a whole different batch of, well, that's chili. And oh, one thing about the chili is I do put eggs in the chili. Sometimes egg white too, if I want to just get the protein up. I will cook the ground beef with chopped steak and stuff like that, and I'll add egg or egg whites to it. So this is just another batch of the egg bites, I think you call them, with the red stuff in the middle is Tabasco sauce or Chipotle
Oh,
sauce. So
all right.
here they come out. So that was another intro. Here's another thing I've been doing lately. So I take the ground beef, like you're making a ground beef patty, but make a cup out of it. And in this case, there's blue cheese mixed into the meat, and then crack an egg into it,
Nice.
and then throw it in the air fryer. You can kind of see the air fryer basket in the background there.
Uh-huh.
And this is kind of how they come out. So this is a hamburger cup with a whole egg cracked into it, and then a little bit. I think this one has oh man, what's that Mediterranean white cheese called? Shoot. It's real common. Feta. It's the
Oh,
feta
feta.
cheese
Okay.
sprinkled on top and then run it through the air fryer.
Fancy.
So there's another batch right there. So anyways, they come out good. I pack all my stuff in containers and take it to work. So they're great. They stay really moist in the middle, but they're, crispy on the outside a little bit. And so the egg's pretty soft in the middle. The yolk's still
Nice.
runny. Oh, running out of time here. So the other thing we found out, this air fryer I bought, you can put 2 dozen eggs in the basket, and you can hard boil them in there. So I want to say it's at 350 for 15 minutes, and they come out perfect. So, anyways, and I also do a lot of chicken thighs. Here's a little video. You can see these are I don't know if, can you hear that?
Not really, but we could see it.
So basically, I'm talking about the when you run the eggs through the air fryer and hard boil them, they do get little spots on the outside. So it's like a little bit of the egg white gets through the shell or something and gets on the outside. But the thing is, the egg peels perfectly too. So it's like perfectly cooked inside. The yolk is still nice and yellow, but cooked. And then when you get crack the shell, it slides right off. So it's awesome. Then here's a
Ooh.
particularly nice beef cup. I don't know, you gotta find a name for it, but
That belongs in the Getty.
right. So yeah, every once in a while I actually try and take a good picture. This is one that actually worked out, one out of thousands that actually looks decent. Oh, no, there's a
That's
bear.
fair.
Don't know. And here's a pot of meat cooking, and I don't even know where that came from. That's not mine, not my stove,
All
not my pot.
right, Tom. In and out. If you could add one ingredient to In-N-Out, would it be bacon or egg for them to add to their burgers?
That's a tough
Yeah,
call.
right?
Yeah. I guess I just go with the bacon because of the it's so aromatic, you know.
And out of all that, no pictures of bacon and eggs. How dare us?
Yeah, well, like I said, it was just getting stuff uploaded and I was prepping for this video at the last minute. I just barely got home. So, but we got plenty more to share. But so anyways, before we run out of time, you want to talk about the nutritional aspects of eggs, why you should eat them?
Well, I'll just pause for 1 second to say eggs are great because you can kind of go to any restaurant that has like a breakfast and you can get a wow, I just forgot what it's called. A omelet
Oh,
with like a bunch of meats and like some if you go to like a posh foo-foo-y place, they might have like a seafood omelet where you can get like some crab, some salmon, what have you, some sour cream, some nice cheese in there. So, um, the nutritional part of the egg, I mean, it's kind of got everything, right? It's got a nice some fat, some protein, a whole host of vitamins, zinc even. Um, I
omega
don't have it all
three being one of the
omega 3.
fats. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's pretty much a daily vitamin, basically. Uh,
Folate.
folate, yeah, it's a great source of folate as well,
Yeah.
and all bioavailable. I'm
Very easy
pretty
to
sure.
absorb. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people are always like, "Oh, what if like I break my jaw and all my teeth fall out?" Be like, "Well, sip it on some eggs, I guess," or like scrambled eggs, for a while until you get your teeth situation figured out. Um, But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you could, and maybe you could just survive on just eggs. I mean, you might be missing a thing. I mean, I don't know.
It's pretty complete. I mean, the egg
Yeah,
has everything that a living chicken needs to have in it, right? So it's nutritionally it's very complete. Does it have the exact perfect ratio for a human being? Maybe not, but it is complete. Whereas a lot of other foods, especially plant-based foods, are devoid of all kinds of nutrients. And they come packaged with a bunch of anti-nutrients, right? And pesticides. So yeah, people think that all the pesticides come from spraying crops and then getting in the food, when in fact, plants are loaded with natural pesticides. So,
and special shout out to turkey eggs, which I've only had once, but those are amazing. Those are like my
really,
favorite eggs is like turkey eggs. They've got just little bit extra kick to them, a little bit of extra flavor, and they're bigger, of course. Like two turkey eggs is like four like chicken eggs. Duck eggs are great. They're a bit more fatty. Of
mm,
course, they're more expensive, but I like a good duck egg too. Um, those are a lot easier to make over medium just because they're so much more fatty. But yeah, a duck egg, every once in a while, if you want to splurge, get some duck eggs. They're great. And if you're worried about PUFAs and all that kind of mess, the duck diet, like a duck farm, their diet is a lot more controlled than like a chicken's diet.
mm,
There's like all ducks are pretty much like free range
mm.
in like a way. Yeah, compared to um
I did not know that.
chicken. Yeah. There's no like KFO like ducks, if that makes sense.
No confined duck feeding operations.
Yes, no confined duck feeding operations. Yeah.
Good to know. All right. Well, we should probably wrap it up. We're coming up on a hard limit here tonight, but I'd like to thank everybody for checking out the video and look forward to more. This start being a regular thing again. And if you're wondering what you should eat, maybe you should eat some eggs. You
Yeah, I think you can't go wrong with eating some eggs. Now, of course, there are those that are genuinely allergic, and my heart goes out to you. Uh, but I think that's way less of the population than what we're told. I don't know, I'm a bit suspicious on that. now. But yeah, eggs, they're great. I mean, I almost eat them every day. Raw is also great. Special
Yeah.
shout out to raw eggs.
So maybe next week you'll drink some raw eggs for the show.
There we go. We could drink some raw eggs for the show. Why
Yeah,
not?
let's do it.
Let's do it.
We'll be prepared next week. Hopefully, Joe will be here next week too.
Yeah. Maybe
So
I can get some duck egg. Maybe I'll have raw duck egg. We'll see.
I think Joe was supposed to run a marathon today, but he got lost. He got off the course. And so they're looking for him right now. So hopefully he'll be back next week. He can't be that lost. I mean, Sydney's only so big.
Well, in Australia, it's just an island, so all he has to do is run towards the middle.
And it's a little kind of a big island. It's kind of the size of a continent. So, but fair enough. Hopefully he surfaces by next week. So, anyways, until next time, eat plenty of meat,
Eat
eat
some
your
eggs.
eggs, and whatever you do, don't
Don't
go
fall down
down
the
the
carb
carb
hole.
hole.